Yeah, let's go in the woods. Go in the woods, they say. Don't they know there's werewolves and zombies and all of that coming up in here? Seriously. The bloody hell was that? Looks like I might need some herbs. Ah, but look. Red herb. Green herb. Sweet. Alright, no funny business. I have a gun. I will use it, mate. I mean it. Let's go now. There'll be some shelter. Better than none. Alright. Seems like a good place. Maybe I can pop a couple herbs. Maybe. And then I'll... The bloody werewolf!
What? Oh, hold up now, buddy. I ain't no damn werewolf. What you doing here?
Not a werewolf. You got the snout, you got the teeth, the tongue, the eyes, the tail.
I know what this is. You know one of them damn first-person shooters from that damn Resident Evil village. In here messing with my stuff again. This is my barn. I ain't no damn werewolf. What makes you think that?
What did I just say, mate? Lights out.
I've got a skin condition causes extra hair on my face. That's disrespectful. You know what? This is my property. You're not welcome. Get the fuck out of here.
Hello everybody, it's me Nate aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Resident Evil 8 aka Village. This game was developed and published by Capcom and just released on May 7th of 2021 on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox One, the Series X and S, Microsoft Windows, and I think they even have a Stadia version coming out. Does that still exist? Yeah, apparently it does. Now, before I get started with the review, I want to let you know all game footage is from the first hour of the game, that way not to spoil any of this delicious title for any of y'all. And as for my plot synopsis, I'm going to leave out a lot of main aspects other than the basic plot of this title. Now, as for the plot, this game takes place 3 years after the events of Resident Evil 7, where you once again play as Ethan Winters on a quest to save his little baby daughter Rosemary, as he's in a mysterious European village in Transylvania. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You'll get to deal with werewolves, vampires, even mermen and ghosts in your epic quest to save Rose. Now, at first it kind of sounds corny, but honestly, the way they do this, it does fit in perfectly with the Resident Evil mythos in terms of the story, the way the plot rolls on and everything like that. And the other main draw with this is a first for the series where they kind of go back to Resident Evil 4, where the game world that you play through, at least the main central hub, is quite large. I mean, honestly, they call it village, but it's more of a big-ass city, let's be honest. I mean, you have tons of optional explorable areas that you can search for to find like nice little items to help you through it. Now, as for the main story, it is preset in a certain order, so it's not like you can jump the gun, but they do give you a lot of different leeway in terms of solving a lot of the main game's puzzles, because once again, even though this does have a lot of action-oriented stuff, it does bring back a lot of the puzzles and stuff. It, hands down, is a really good Resident Evil. I mean, you have to go and tackle the town and the 4 main houses, led by each of these Gothic horror-style themed characters. You got the one house that is pretty much the werewolf-based one. You got the one house that is the vampire-based one. You got the one for the mermen, and you even got one for ghosts. Yeah, and honestly, I'm loving every single minute of this. I was kind of worried at first that this was going to play out like a Simon's Quest Castlevania version of Resident Evil, and while it does have a lot of flavor aspects of it, it comes off more as a revved up version of Resident Evil 4, which hands down is one of the best Resident Evil games they ever made, right up there with Code Veronica in my own personal opinion. Now, that's not even getting into some of the other things like good old, I'm calling her Big Lady D, okay? Big Lady D, we already know about this. Good old Lady D, the big old 9-foot tall vampire lady with the breasts that are so big that they could raise the frickin' Titanic. Honestly, her character is brilliant. Actually, most of all the characters in this are so well done, they're very memorable. Even the side characters that kind of, some of them die and everything, it's honestly very well done. This, hands down, I personally think is way better than Resident Evil 7. And if you like Resident Evil 4, the flavor in it is so much more to it. I don't know, though, if you might be a little bit bothered by the overall arching plot that they have, with especially with the Lycans and the vampires. And I mean, it's kind of odd, but the problem is at this point with Resident Evil, it does fit with the story. It really does, especially with Chris Redfield's involvement in it and everything. This game has lots of action, lots of running and gunplay, sword, knife action, tons of puzzles, which I absolutely loved. Most of them weren't really too difficult, but some were kind of head-scratchingly different. That kind of give you a brain teaser for a while, but they're doable. They're totally doable. Now, Capcom has been noted at saying that they're calling this a theme park of horrors, and it does show, especially when you go to the different houses in the game. Honestly, each one has their own flair and flavor to it, and of course the main castle is huge and sprawling and absolutely a breath to behold. I've been playing this on a PlayStation 4 Pro, not a PS5, and it runs buttery smooth. They give you an option, at least on the PS4 Pro, if you want to play it in performance mode or graphic mode. Performance keeps the frame rate up, graphics mode makes everything higher res. I'm going for performance, and honestly, hands down, I haven't had really any bugs with this game other than the monsters you fight. Honestly, it hands down is beautiful and a really fun game. The artistic detail they took in making this town and all the different houses in the castle is superbly detailed, and honestly the atmosphere and just overall everything about it is great. But I will say this, it's kind of odd to me if you're in a village in Transylvania how everybody seems to speak perfect English. I kind of have an issue with that, but you know what, I kind of let it go because it's a game. Come on, man. Do you really want to have them speaking in a different language and reading subtitles? Actually, yeah, I actually would. I think it would help a lot. Now, as for overall game length, you can get through this game in about 10 hours or so. It may take you a little bit longer if you're one of the people like me that looks through every nook and cranny, but if you're a speedrunner, you can get through it in way under 10 hours. So just keep that in mind. But it does come with a New Game Plus mode, and don't even get me going on the damn 8 angel masks that you have to find in the castle. Oh my goodness. Hands down, I think this is a superb title. I think it is a massive improvement over top of Resident Evil 7. I do like how they have evolved the character of Ethan Winters to where he's still not a top tier character like the rest of the Resident Evil character franchise, but I don't hate him as much as I did in 7. 7, I just thought he was just pathetic and worthless. In this one, they do explain a lot of stuff. It's pretty decently done considering this is a Resident Evil game, people. You can't expect Shakespeare when it comes down to the plot and scripting, but hands down, it is really, really a fun game. I love all the stuff in it. Though I have to say that maybe it's just me, I'm getting used to these sort of games, but the jump scares and the other things I didn't really find scary. I thought they were cool, definitely neat, and I love the fact of you being able to move stuff in front of doors to keep the werewolves from getting in, and the other things you can do with the vampires and the merman and the ghost. I mean, I do love that to it. It really adds a nice new twist to the Resident Evil formula. And, you know, the last one came off as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of game, really. Well, this one comes off as more like a Resident Evil that, I hate to say it, even though I didn't say it earlier, it does have some aspects of Castlevania to it, but it works. The game world works. The control is buttery smooth. I love the gameplay. I love the new enemies. I love the new puzzles. Hands down, this is a fantastic game in my personal opinion. Now, as for the online game it comes with, I will review that on its own in the future. I'm not going to talk about that in this review. But in the end, I have to say, without a shadow of a doubt, I was actually quite impressed with just about every aspect of this game. Now, if you're expecting some massive change from Resident Evil 7, the only real thing I can say is how the game world is much more fleshed out and opened up compared to 7 was, on the mansion and everything. It does give you a lot more options and a lot more open area to fight these enemies and do stuff. But if you were expecting something back like the good old classic days of Resident Evil, it's not. This is more action-oriented. It really does play out like a vampire Transylvania version of Resident Evil 4. And that, to me personally, is definitely not a bad thing. You know, even the enemies, designs, and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, that reminds me of this dude from this one. And you know, it's not a bad thing. It really isn't. Personally, in my own tastes, I actually love the direction they went with this title. And I love the new characters. Big Lady D, I love her. And I'll tell you what, man, oh my God, I'm not the only one that apparently likes her. If you checked out all the dang artwork on DeviantArt of her, oh my God, people are going crazy. You know, if you go to any conventions, if they ever have them anymore, I guarantee you a lot of people are going to be cosplaying as Big Lady D, though I don't think any of them are going to be about 9 feet tall. But please leave in the comments below of what you personally think of Resident Evil Village compared to the other Resident Evil games that you played in the past. If you like it, if you hate it, and what are your reasons why. Make sure to hit that like icon. If you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe so you can stay updated by also hitting that bell whenever I release any new videos. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.